Well, good grief. Welcome everybody to November's Christmas card class. It is the last card class of the year, the last regular card class of the year. That always makes me sad because I know that there's so many stamps that have yet to touch ink and paper. And this sounds like a repeat in my head because it is. I did at least 90 seconds of my presentation in the wrong group today. So I think that's just kind of how my week is going. I lost a day, maybe 2 days this week of productive work, and it's really thrown things off schedule. So, and the interesting thing is that I expect that, or I deserve that when it happens if I have waited till the last minute to do my designing and such. But the crazy thing is, I had all of these classes for November planned about for the last 4.5 weeks. And some of those samples got made. Hello, I'm so glad you're here. Some of those samples got made at that time, and a lot of them didn't. So, and it's a very busy week. I had the Playful Pets on Thursday. We have Christmas cards today. I have a reception for my leaders of my team that is all this weekend. We had hoped it would be an in-person event tomorrow, but that changed, and I have 10, I think 9 or 10 videos to film for that group, walking them through the special projects that they're making. And then I have the mega class next week for the poinsettias. And that is 10 projects. So, and next week is also the birthday. The monthly card club for November is a birthday class featuring the playful patterns. That doesn't sound right. Pattern play. Maybe that's right. Anyway, those. If you would like to participate in those classes, I'd love you to join us. If you haven't already RSVP'd, just let me know, and I will get a kit ready, and I will have them ready, I hope by Monday. I don't think I've got to order anything else. I hope not, because that's going to be a little tricky. It's a holiday next week. So what we have today, we are working with the Ornamental envelope bundle. And I wasn't going to get this bundle. I was like, envelope liners are pretty, but I just wasn't going to get it. And then I started seeing some projects made with it, and I was like, oh, there's more to this. And that happens a lot, by the way, once you start stamping, is that you start to see all these other things that could be done other than what you immediately saw in the catalog. And once you start seeing everybody play with them, you realize that the catalog images don't do it justice. So that's kind of what happened to me and the ornamental envelopes, and I hope you like what we've got going today. Also going to use a couple of the stamps from Wrapped in Christmas. Now, if you don't have this stamp set, you can easily substitute for something that you do, because what we're going to use is this Christmas blessings to you and yours. So that's just a long, slender greeting. So lots of things that you can do. Hold on one second and let me. Okay, then, okay, so we're going to use that Christmas blessings, and then we're going to use this round badge here. It says, surround yourself in the love of the season. And if you don't have that, you could do something. We could use another round sentiment, or I've got another idea that I will show you. And then I'm going to use the Merry Christmas from the Poinsettia Petals stamp set. And again, if you didn't have that Merry Christmas is in a lot of stamp sets, so I feel sure that you've got something that will work. So let's get started. I'm going to turn the camera, I'm going to switch the camera, and I'm going to grab some supplies, and we're going to get going. And I'll tell you what ink colors we're using as well. So we're going to use some Early Espresso and Versamark ink. I'm actually going to do a little bit of embossing, heat embossing with white on crumb cake. That's going to be really pretty. And then we have one card that is going to use Mossy Meadow and Real Red. And then we've got a card that is going to use Misty Moonlight and Just Jade. So we have two that are going to use this early espresso, one that is going to use the Mossy Meadow and Misty Moonlight. I said that exactly wrong. Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Mossy Meadow, Real Red, early espresso, and Versamark ink. I've got my black over here, but I don't think we're going to use the black. I'm going to use the Stamparatus today, as well as my blocks. So, all right, let's see what we've got first. Okay. I am actually going to start with the card Oh, dadgum. We're going to start with the card that is using the Just Jade and the Misty Moonlight. And I got almost this card put together today. But what you have, so we've got a Just Jade card base. And we have a liner of white. We have a layer of Misty Moonlight. We have a stamp layer on Whisper White. We have a Just Jade label that's going to go across here, and then we're going to stamp here, and we're going to add some ornaments in this, like so. So that's how it's going to come together at the end. Now, B has already picked up her kits, hers and Angie's, and I must confess that I think that I cut this piece a little short. I actually think it needs to be 1 by 3.5, and I don't believe I cut these ornaments for you. So, B, I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I know that you have the dies for that, and tell you that, you know, grab a piece of Whisper White and go ahead and run those through your cut and emboss machine. I also have an envelope liner in Just Jade, so it's going to go just like these. So I did envelope liners for 2 of these cards. Could certainly do them for the other 2. Just didn't do that today. And then of course you can decorate your envelope quite a bit more as well. Okay, so here I've got our measurements right here. This is basically our sample. Let me show you what we're going to do. And I think that is, bear with me just a second. Okay. This piece, okay, so this is 1 by 3.5, and this is 1 1/8 by 4, and then I have my Just Jade base, Misty Moonlight layer. I have 2 pieces of white, one for the outside and one for the inside, and I tell you, those are cut the same size because it makes for fewer accidents in class. If they're a different size and we happen to stamp on the wrong one, well, anyway, it makes it a little cleaner if I just make them the same size. B, you're so sweet. All right, and this is not telling me that I'm broadcasting where I think I am, so I'm just going to go over to Facebook really fast and make sure that I am. I need to be in card class, and I am, I think. Yes, okay, good deal. All right, so I've got my little ornaments cut out. I'll set those there. I have this piece, and this Merry Christmas is the one from the Poinsettia Petals. And it's a photopolymer. I did not put it on the Stamparatus for us today. Let me put my little face over there. Okay. Did not put it on the Stamparatus. I am just going to pick it up with a block. And I don't even try to put that straight on the block because I intentionally leave it off. Now this grid paper, I need to either be on the left or the right because the lines are off. And actually, I think I'm going to come over here to where it's a little smaller. So when you don't have your Stamparatus, or you don't quite need your Stamparatus for what you're doing, grid paper is a great, great tool. Now you might have seen that next Tuesday Stampin' Up! Is having a great sale, 10% off most of the products in the annual catalog. And so it doesn't include the cut and emboss machine. It does include the Stamparatus. So if you don't have a Stamparatus yet, it's a great time to get it. So 10% is the cost of shipping. So basically everything that's on sale, you're getting the shipping for free. If your order is $70 or above. Up until $70, your shipping is $6.95. So I always encourage people to order 70 so that then they get 10% shipping. They're not paying more than 10% for shipping. I'm all about finding the best way, the best deal. Okay, so now that's got the poinsettia. Now I have on my Stamparatus. Let me push this out of the way. So I have a couple of things already here. There's a template in your kit, and that is for lining up your dies. Okay, I think you've seen me do that before, so I'm not going to undo what I have here. I am just going to see if I can figure out that one. No. So these are slightly different sizes, all these little ornaments. And I want them in here just like a little puzzle piece. And I'm going to use the sticky end of my Take Your Pick tool if I can find it. There it is. Then I have to be able to get the lid off. I just want that to help me get those in place. All right, so I'm going to stamp 3 of these in Misty Moonlight and pop them up on dimensionals, and then I'm going to stamp the whole background piece in Just Jade. So I need a stamp set under here so that I can ink this up. Make sure those guys are staying in place good. So yeah, I've got that just far enough off camera that you can't really see what I'm doing. I'm sorry about that. All right, so let's bring this over. And stamp these 3 guys. I'm like my cat. I'm going to lift those off. And the photopolymer sometimes sticks to the paper, which is partly why I added the little sticky notes there. I'm going to move this aside, and this time I don't need my template here. I'm going to put this back in my stamp set, which is where I keep them, although my stamp set is there. And now I need to stamp this background piece on my card front. Now, I marked the corners when I did this the first time so that I could just pop that in place and be ready to stamp. Now this time I'm going to stamp them in Just Jade. I'll just bring this over. And I think that's quite lovely. I'm good with that. So I'm going to take this off and I will clean my stamp just a little bit. And then I'm going to leave this here. We'll probably need it for another card. Although, I confess, we're mostly winging it on the future cards. Okay, so this piece of cardstock of Just Jade is a little bit wide for the punch, but I'm going to use the punch. So I just have to feed it kind of at an angle, and then once it gets, okay, on the wrong side. Then once it gets down here, I can kind of walk it to get it to the center. I say that, now it doesn't want to move. And I'm going to put the point at the very end, or just about, because I want this little guy to go all the way across that white layer. Okay. Now, if you didn't have the punch, you can just measure to the center and then cut at an angle so that you can get that the way you want it. Now let's go ahead and put these two together. And I'm just using a little Seal Plus, and I've got the tiniest of mats, which is really hard to see. Oops. And I don't want it to hang off this far, so I either need to trim this down or walk it as far as I can down this side. And it might be that I have to do both. Yeah, I'm going to trim it down just a tiny bit. And yeah, I've got a little bit of adhesive on there. This is life unedited. I think that's probably enough. I'll add photos afterwards, and you can, of course, take measurements from the kit that you have, or typically with this class, I broadcast first and then I prepare kits later based on the orders that are received. So you can get this kit a few different ways. Their kit is free with a qualifying purchase, and that purchase is $35 online. So when you place that $35 order, I'm going to create a kit for you of 2 each of the 4 designs. and mail them to you. And then if you place a $60 order, I'm going to create a kit for you, and I'm going to include both the prepped kit as well as an embellishment from one of the current catalogs. Now, sometimes the demonstrators on my team like to get the kits, but they order from themselves, and that's okay too. You can purchase a kit, porch pickup for $20, or you can pay $24 and I'll mail it to you. Okay, now let's layer these up. There's a really cool corner stamp in this stamp set, and it's hidden down here at the bottom, but isn't that lovely? And then this little corner floral too. So that's a way to dress up the inside of your cards, and it's not necessarily holiday. You know, it's really hard to see this blue on the blue. So you could use that on any of your cards. Okay, we're going to put this there. Now, I've got a real subtle combination here of the Misty Moonlight and the Just Jade. This would be really pretty with maybe Coastal Cabana and Misty Moonlight, or Bermuda Bay. I'm not entirely sure. Okay, we're going to set this, we're going to do something with this in just a second. Let's grab our ornaments and some dimensionals. I think this is a cool thing to do. Well, that one brought up more than I bargained for there. And let's do a 2 on this bigger one. There's that, and then we're going to add this like this. And get 3 dimensionals. Now I don't need 3 to stick this down, but if I just did the 2 on the outside, then this one might sag. You can't have any saggy middles. So I don't have to peel off the sticker. I'm just using it for support. But I want it to come just like that. So pretty, actually, pretty simple. And then you could add some gems. Let's see what I've got over here. I happen to have some of the holiday rhinestones hanging out over here. I wonder how those green or... All right, let's just play pretend. But you know what? I kind of like this blue. There we go. I wonder if I should use a bigger one on this one. So that's lovely. Okay, then for the inside. Don't have any plans for this, so we're winging it. So feel free to chime in, but I feel like you've even got lines, this grid, so that you can line your, you could stamp out lines for writing and addressing. And you've got these little flowers in a bit of an arrangement as well. This is the one that I'm thinking. All right, and so let's make our own little stamparatus here. Let me get a small block. Okay, and then, did you ever do, I need a long piece. I think you're long enough. Okay, so I'm going to try and set this. I'm going to actually pull my head out of the way, so sorry. Bear with me a second. So what I'm going to do is actually set, let's see if I can get this up here. So I'm going to set the outline of my stamp in the corner and see if I can get it straight enough. And I will do that oh, darn. Getting inky. It's a good day. Okay. So I'm just going to set, oh, sorry guys, I'm getting my head right in the middle, but I don't know that I can do it any other way. Okay, I'm going to have to set my head in it to do it. I apologize. I think that's pretty cool. Oh gosh, you could do this on the envelope too. Wouldn't that be pretty? Let's do that. I just can't decide if that's straight. Oh, I think I twisted it. I did tweak it just a little bit as I put it down. Kind of dropped it actually, if I'm being honest. Actually, because it's so thin, it's really easy to roll. So just be, gentle down and up. I think that's really pretty. Okay, let's do an envelope the same way. And yes, you could absolutely do this on your stamparatus and get it just picture perfect. Oh my goodness. Okay, that one wasn't so picture perfect. It definitely rolled on me. Isn't that just pretty? Just adds something, doesn't it? Okay, and then we put this in here. Maybe I'll put that one down on the corner. And it just looks so finished. All right. I think that's quite lovely. And if you don't like the blue, so I've got the blue there, but any color, you could do just white rhinestones or pearls or nothing at all. It's just really pretty. Okay, so that is our first card. Let's see how well we can do with the second card. Okay, so the second card is going to use Mossy Meadow and Real Red. And let me get those here. Get this out of the way. Let me clean this off. And it is going to use the Christmas blessings from the Wrapped in Christmas stamp set. And then it's also going to use some of these curved pieces from this one. And we're going to use, I think, the same pieces in the next card as well. Now, the trick to this one, and I've got envelope liners here as well, then a stitched rectangle, and I used this one, I believe it's this one. Oh, no, it's not. So of the stitched rectangles, it's the largest one of this set of 4. They're going to be 10% off on Tuesday. You got to place your order on Tuesday for it to count. And I'm already saying too, the stitched shapes are on sale. And so the stitched shape dies, I use those so often. All right, here's an envelope. Here's one of these. And I've already stamped that. And this goes pretty much stitched to stitched. All right, so I'm not going to stamp that again because I think it's going to be tricky enough to stamp these little curved pieces. So I want this one, and then I want these little bubbles. So I'm going to grab some D blocks. All right, 2 Ds. Now, what if you want this kit, but you don't have the stamp set? That's really been the struggle this last, most of this year, right? Because we haven't been doing in-person classes, and it's hard if you don't have the stamp set to do that. So a couple of options. I've been allowing individuals to add on the stamp set for no tax and shipping, and also on nice days been able to use my parents' porch and stamp there. We're able to maintain our distance. We can do 3 or 4 of us at a time and stamp on their porch. Mom even went out and got a heater so that we can be comfortable out there. All right, so I'm going to stamp this 3 times, but I want this pretty much in the center, but I'm only going to eyeball it. Okay, I'm not going to obsess about it. Let's grab I'm going to grab a Post-it note. I've already got the other side of this card smudged. This is mine, so it's the guinea pig. And I'm going to stamp the green first. So I'm using Mossy Meadow. And of course, if your designer series paper was different color scheme, then you would follow that color scheme. All right, and I'm taking my green curves right up to the edge of the fold. Look how crisp that is. All right, and then now this is tricky because I'm going off the edge, but to maintain that same curve, I need to be able to see the other end. So I've lined it up on my grid paper, those 2 words again, right? And I always get a little nervous when I am stamping directly on the card front because, oh my gosh, that leaves a lot of room for error. And how beautiful, right? So this is really, really fun stamping, nothing complicated in what we're doing. I think the next ones are going to be a little bit more involved. And then these I am just going to follow along the same curve. And honestly, the green of the branch just kind of runs between the reds. Okay, sorry. Okay, I got that one better spaced on the branch. Okay, where? There we go. That's all there is to this one. I know, did you blink? You didn't go out and get coffee or anything, did you? Because you would have missed it. I like to talk about cards that would be, pretty easy to mass produce as well, because I typically make multiples of most of my cards, and so this would not be difficult. It wouldn't be necessarily one you'd set up on your Stamparatus, although I guess you might be able to hinge it with a little practice. Yeah, I did stamp that on the other side first. I went off the edge. So whatever your greeting is, that's the size that you're working with. Kind of get my grid paper in place down here. My hands are so inked up. And then, oh, turn loose, thank you. I was not ready for that to go down, but I guess it did. And, okay, so I'm just going to grab, my red rhinestones are right here, so I'm going to grab a few of those. So holiday rhinestones, red rhinestones, those are just right here on my desk. So with a $60 order, you could get the card kit and then an embellishment. And at this point, you could even tell me that you wanted red rhinestones or you wanted the holiday rhinestones if you didn't have one of those. Okay, so that is the card, right? And it looks like I've got a lot of white space here. So you could make this note card size and then you wouldn't have quite so much white. And so I'm going to just put some adhesive across the top here. It is not scored. And then I'm just going to, I say just a lot, good grief. Put that there. And then I'm going to put my bone folder, although I could put this in my trimmer and create that score line. And there you have it. Okay, so there's card number 2. Carry this back over here. And all right, so card number 3. This is our Early Espresso and Versamark cards. Both of these cards are using not what I meant to get out. Crumb cake bases and Early Espresso and Real Red. And then some white, which we're going to get the white from the embossing. You could also use the craft ink or a gel paint pen if you had that. And I got to tell you that I'm going to have to measure. We're going to practice this. Okay, well, actually, this one I think we don't have to practice, but the second one we're going to have to practice. So for this one, you've got a crumb cake base. You have, okay, everybody else, I hope. No, you don't need a white liner for this. You could put a white liner in this, but you don't have to. This red goes back behind here. So I'm actually going to take a few little dots of glue. To glue this down. Because the red that I cut does not, it's not a full layer. It's just enough to go back behind this. And it's, darn it. Isn't that pretty? And that could be, you can also do that on the backs of your envelopes. And yeah, so lots of things you can do here. Put that over there. We are going to stamp these ornaments. And we're going to stamp that corner in Early Espresso. Okay, people, stop. All right, so, yep, oh, it's not quite in, that's good. Okay, same thing here. And doing all four corners. Oh, I feel like my head's in there. So today, this morning, I was looking for the traditional Burl Ives, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town shows for Hazel. I can't find them anywhere. Are they only available on DVD? Anybody know? I don't know. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to, oh my gosh, come on. We are going to do some of the ornaments and actually some of the flowers on this one. I run these through 2 at a time on my cut and emboss machine, so that's what I'm doing now, is separating my layers. And this is why I left them on the machine. I left it already lined up because I knew we were going to do some more. So these actually we're going to just do in red. In a moment we're going to emboss our greeting. On the other card, I saved what I think is going to be the trickiest one for last, and maybe it won't be tricky at all. We'll see. Okay, that one is done, and I need real red. My ornaments are on the stem res. All right, so we're going to get that template back out because I need to know where to put my puzzle pieces. Someone called these blanks. Was that Laura Milligan the other night? I'm not sure. All right, so push all this back to the corner. That's how I get it all lined up. And then I fill this up. Just kind of line up the white space where I want it. Like that there. And I'll go ahead and add a little sticky. And okay, so I want, nope, that's not you. I think it's you. Okay, that one. And then I want this one. Is that you? You talk to your paper too, right? It's not just me. And then I want some flowers, which I can't get the flowers on here right now. And actually the flowers I might not do on the Stamparatus. Okay. So I just need to ink up the ones on this side. So I'm just using these two. You could use any two that you want to. And I'm going to bring this one back over and see if I can get that just a little better. Yep. And don't forget, you're doing 2 each. Oh my gosh, that one didn't. Okay. Gotta try that again. That one missed a lot. And I'll just go ahead and add some more ink. It might not need it, but it won't hurt it. I can even do it that way. There. All right. Let's leave that the way it is and clean off the ornaments. Okay, set that aside. And then I'm going to put this, I really want to put this on dimensionals as well as the ornaments. So let's do that. Let me close this up. You all are quiet. I'm pretty sure you're there. I hope you're there. Although that's the beauty of having it recorded, right? So there are definitely some advantages to not having this in person, in that you can start and stop whenever you want to. But I miss our in-person. I'm really ready for us to be in person again. And it looks like that's going to be a while longer, given that we have more cases now. I've got a couple of friends that are really sick right now with COVID. One of them has a couple of small kids that are really, it's really hard. Oh, how pretty. Isn't this pretty? All right, so then we're going to take our 2 ornaments and we'll put them on the branches here. It's about there. And then right there. Now, you should have a strip of early espresso. Which, how do I not have a strip? Oh my gosh, I hope you have a strip of early espresso. And that I'm just missing it on mine. Oh my gosh. Please. So, darn. It should be 3/4 of an inch by okay, bear with me a second. I can see a piece of early espresso under here. Okay. 3/4 of an inch by 2 1/4. Oh, look at all these little pieces. Look at little seeds. All right, so 3/4 of an inch. Yeah. Okay. Is she down? Okay. Listen, she didn't sleep yesterday. You give that baby a passy.
Ask your friend's 3-year-old passy.
Hattie, she did not sleep yesterday. Give her a passy.
Can I have scissors so I can stab a hole in it?
No. Don't give her a passy. They're going to tell you, go give her a passy. All right. From the Wrapped in Christmas again, we're going to take Peace on Earth. I've not added my labels yet.
I love you. 10 hours tonight.
Okay. Love you too. And pick this up. And I'm going to flag one end of this. So let's go ahead and get. So 3/4 is going to fit right in the, I want to call it, we're going to call it a path. And it could be, yeah, then we're going to need to cut some of it off. It's too long. But that one is a little crooked. We might come down. No, we'll come up here. All right, and this is Versamark because we're going to heat emboss. Okay. Versamark is sticky and clear. Let you do tone on tone work and heat emboss. All right. And then my head's in the way. I'm sorry. I've got to pull it towards me. This may not be straight. No, it does not look, it doesn't look well stamped at all. My Versamark may need to be re-inked. And this Peace on Earth is pretty small. A pretty small font. But again, straight down, straight up. I'm going to have a little bit of a circle I can see already. When I'm working with something this small too, I use a tool that my husband got me at Harbor Freight for holding on to it. And actually, it's kind of good that I made this big of a mess because I'm going to show you what to do. What do you do when you make a boo-boo like that, right? That's a lot of excess. I don't want this to look like a glob. know where to heat and gloss that right now. So I keep a little paintbrush handy. I'm going to dust that away. And we'll dust that away. I'm okay with a little bit. And I'm going to try and do my, kind of lost the H. Let's see if I can get that. Okay. I think I got it a little bit better. I don't know if you all heard Hattie when she came in. She does not want to give Hazel a passy. And she did that yesterday. And then I got a toddler with no nap. Let me grab my handle over here. And my heat tool. There, it's starting to melt. Okay. There we go. Now, I am going to trim that about there. And then I'm going to stamp a couple of flowers. Okay. Okay, that really shows up. Whoops. I do have to peel the back of it off. Otherwise, none of it's going to stick. Okay. Now, let's get these little flowers. And actually, they're on a single stamp. So if I'm going to do this without using the Stamparatus, I'm going to stamp it several times. And that's okay. Well, so put this back. And this may fail horribly. We may still decide that we need the Stamparatus, but let's see. Okay, I'm getting the Stamparatus. Let's see, we're finished. Get this one. Okay, and I need, oh, not this one. I'm gonna need this one. So remember, we start like this, put the stamp down, pick it up, push everything in the corner. That way I can line it up every time. Ink up my stamp. And now the trick is, oh, maybe it's going to work okay. Yeah, it's going to be fine. Okay. So now there. Now let's put all these little okay. Pick these up. Yeah, I'm glad I got the stamp rivets out. One, two, and three. Okay. I hope y'all are liking these projects. Okay, get this card back over here. I think that's straight. And then let's get some mini dimensionals. Tuck that one right there. And then this one right there. And then I'm going to get a piece of linen thread and tie a double bow. Years ago, linen thread came on a card, and so it had all these creases in it. It's so much nicer now to have it on a roll, and then it just kind of curls. And remember to, if you want to play with your bow, get your thumbs in your loops and just play with it that way. All right, I'm going to take a glue dot. Put that on the back of the bow. And put that there. And then just let that fall. Like that. And then you could decorate the inside however you like. There you go. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that is card number 3. Now let's get ready for card number 4. Okay, so card number 4 has an early espresso base. It has 2 pieces of crumb cake. One is going to be your liner for inside. It has this, which is cut from the wrapped in warm, oh my gosh, whatever the wrapped in Christmas. goes with this Surround Yourself. So if you didn't have this stamp set, you could use, do something like we did on the other one and just make a small, you'll see, but you could do the same kind of idea there. All right, I'm going to shut this door in case she can hear me. Because she's not napping yet. Now, the idea is to make a wreath on this. All right, so this is to go, okay, that's way too long. I didn't trim it down clearly. But at the very bottom, and then this here, and then a wreath here with this in the center. And actually, that might be key to getting our wreath right. I'm still going to use these little bubbles, but I'm going to also use the more delicate of these branches. And now remember, with your photopolymer stamps, you want to let them fall down and then pick them up. So we're going to do this part in Early Espresso. All right, should we just go for it? There are two sides of this cardstock, right? Okay, I am going to put this in. Well, I don't want to put it in place, but I do want to hold it in place. Okay, I'm going to put it there. And I should get actually the right. This is the one that we want first. Decide how closely we want it. All right, let's just try it. You can always flip it over. Okay. So part of me thinks we should walk up to the top and do the top part next. I think I sweated over nothing, right? There was nothing to that. I thought I was going to need the Stamparatus, and I don't think so. I think it's fine like that. Now, we are next going to use Versamark to do the fill-in. And again, the branch just pretty much falls right in between. It's not difficult to really see. course, as I say that, I don't have it yet done, do I? But I should have time to go all the way around. And I'm just going to turn this. And somehow or another, I must have left some blank spots. I'm going to end up with this is going to be a little heavier. Well, let's just see how we like this. I think this one I can just hold on to. Turn the light. All right. Now I need to stamp this as well with that one. And definitely need a handle on that one. Oops. Dadgum, what to do with it? It fell over. Okay. Handle. right, so let's put this together. Now, it looks like my early espresso wasn't completely dry and that some of the embossing powder stuck to it. So I could come along with my marker or a blend. Blend might do better. Marker would do more of a heat resist technique. Okay, there's that. So we'll do that in just a second and see. Did I run out? That. And then this on dimensionals. That. And then let's grab, so this is actually dark soft suede, and this is not perfect. The alternative, I guess, would be that you could you could dust this off I may have to try another one and see. Because the early espresso really should have been dry when I came along with the Versum work. I'm very surprised that as much of this stuck as it did. Okay. All right. And I think I'll do it. I'm going to pop it up as well. I got ink all over myself. Goodness. And then don't forget that you've got that crumb cake piece for inside as well. All right, so there's that one. So at this distance, I think that's okay. If you get up close, it's not as crisp as I need it to be. So I'm going to have to work on that method and see where it went a little sideways. All right, let's clean this up a little bit so that I can show you the projects that we made today. And then don't forget to get a kit of today's projects. They are free with a purchase between now and Tuesday. A $35 order will get you the kit with all two each of the 4 designs, and a $60 order by Tuesday, will be a class kit plus an embellishment of your choice. All right, oops, this is not showing really well. Let's do this way. All right, thanks so much for being here this afternoon. I hope that you have a very blessed afternoon and weekend, and we still have lots of stamping to do this month. Don't forget that sale on Tuesday. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.